For nearly a decade, if you wanted a powerful tablet that could fit in one hand, you had exactly one choice: the iPad mini. It was the king, simply because the throne room was empty. But in 2025, the compact tablet market has split into two violent extremes. In the red corner, we have the Lenovo Legion Y700 Gen 4. It's armed with the Snapdragon 8 Elite, a ridiculous 165Hz screen, and it's basically a handheld console disguised as a tablet. In the blue corner, the iPad mini 7. It's powered by the A17 Pro, it's sleek, it has Apple Intelligence, but it's still clinging to a 60Hz screen like it's 2015. So, is the iPad mini 7 an insult to gamers? Or is the Legion Y700 just a powerful toy with messy software? Today, we are breaking down the specs, the heat, the jelly scrolling, and the raw performance to tell you which one deserves your money. Let's fight. Let's start with how these things actually feel. The iPad mini 7 retains that ultra-light, unibody aluminum design. It weighs just 293 grams. If you're lying in bed reading Kindle or scrolling the web with one hand, this is still the gold standard. It's balanced, it's light, and your wrist won't hate you. But the Legion Y700 Gen 4, it's a tank. It's heavier, around 350 grams, because it's hiding a massive vapor chamber cooling system inside. But here is the genius part. Lenovo knows you aren't reading books on this. You're gaming. This is the dual C breakthrough. Lenovo gave us two USB-C ports, one on the long edge, one on the short edge. Why does this matter? Imagine playing Genshin Impact. On the iPad, the charging cable is jamming into your palm. On the Legion, you plug it into the bottom, completely out of the way. You can even charge on one port and plug in wired headphones or an SSD on the other without a dongle. In terms of pure ergonomics for gamers, Lenovo just embarrassed Apple. Now, we have to address the elephant in the room. Actually, it's not an elephant, it's a dinosaur. The screen refresh rate. The Legion Y700 Gen 4 packs an 8.8-inch IPS panel running at a blistering 165 Hz. If you play FPS games, this means smoother tracking and lower input latency. It is buttery smooth. The iPad mini 7? It costs over 15 million VND, and it still uses a 60 Hz liquid retina display. If you use an iPhone Pro or any modern Android phone, switching to the iPad mini 7 feels like the device is stuttering. It physically displays only 1/3 of the frames that the Lenovo does. And what about the infamous jelly scrolling that plagued the Mini 6? Teardowns suggest Apple optimized the controller to minimize it on the Mini 7. It's better, but it's not gone. Meanwhile, on the Legion Y700, thanks to that 165 Hz speed, jelly scrolling is physically impossible for your eye to see. Lenovo takes this round easily. Under the hood, we have a clash of titans. The iPad has the A17 Pro, the chip from the iPhone 15 Pro. But wait, it's a binned version with only a 5-core GPU. The Legion Y700 is rocking the Snapdragon 8 Elite. This isn't just an upgrade, it's a monster. Look at the numbers. In Geekbench Multicore, the Snapdragon 8 Elite hits nearly 9,850 points, while the A17 Pro trails behind at around 6,980. That's almost a 40% difference in raw multitasking and rendering power. But benchmarks are boring. Let's talk about heat. The iPad mini 7 relies on passive cooling. No fans, no vapor chambers. When you push it in gaming, it gets hot, and the screen dims to protect itself. We've all been there, mid-match, and suddenly you can't see the screen. Lenovo solves this with bypass charging. You can power the motherboard directly without charging the battery. This eliminates heat from the charging process, keeping the device cool and the frame rates locked at 60, 90, or even 120 FPS for hours. If you're a retro gamer, the Legion Y700 isn't just a tablet, it's the holy grail. Because it runs Android, the Y700 can emulate PlayStation 2, Nintendo Switch, and even run Windows PC games like GTA 5 using WinLater. The iPad mini 7? Apple technically allows emulators now, but they block something called JIT, just-in-time compilation. Without JIT, high-end emulation is slow and laggy. To get it working, you need a computer, alt store, and a lot of patience. On the Lenovo, you just install and play. So, the Legion Y700 is perfect, right? Wrong. Here is the reality check, especially for my viewers in Vietnam. It runs ZUI, a domestic Chinese ROM. Out of the box, it has no Google Play Store, and it's full of Chinese apps. Worse, the battery management is so aggressive that it often kills background apps, meaning you might miss messages from Zalo or Messenger. You can install a global ROM, but you risk bricking the device or losing Widevine L1, meaning no Netflix in HD. You have to be a tech tinkerer to love this tablet. The iPad mini 7? It runs iPadOS. It's boring, but it works. The apps like Procreate and GoodNotes are perfectly optimized. It will get updates for 5 or 6 years. It's the peace of mind option. So, which one should you buy? It comes down to who you are. If you are an ecosystem user, you want your notes to sync with your Mac, you want to draw with the Apple Pencil Pro, and you want a device that holds its resale value remarkably well, buy the iPad mini 7. It's safe, it's premium, and it will last you years. But if you are a tech gamer, if you can't stand 60Hz screens, if you want to turn a tablet into a cyberpunk console, and you know how to sideload an APK, the Lenovo Legion Y700 Gen 4 is the winner. It offers double the storage, a better screen, and faster charging for about 3 to 5 million VND less than the iPad mini. It is a much more attractive toy for enthusiasts. Which team are you on? Are you taking the raw power of the Snapdragon 8 Elite or the stability of the Apple ecosystem? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe for more honest tech reviews. See you in the next one.